Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to IMU's virtual postgraduate info week. I'm Dr. Ravi Shankar, and along with Dr. Bhavani and Dr. Effat, we'll talk about empowering health professions educators, building tomorrow's workforce. Welcome again, everyone, to this webinar. So there are some housekeeping rules before we start. So we have muted the microphone for all attendees. For questions and feedback, please use the Q&A panel. And this live webinar will be recorded or is being recorded. So like I've introduced the participants, so we have already talked to you about Dr. Bhavani, Dr. Effat, and Dr. Nurul will also be joining to answer the questions or any queries you might be having. So she is the program director. So welcome to this webinar. So this is how we will move forward with this webinar. So the first we have the welcome. Then I will speak about introduction to postgraduate programs in health professions education offered by IMU, the IMU Center for Educational Eyes. Then Dr. Bhavani will talk about empowering health professions educators, building tomorrow's workforce. And Dr. Effat will talk about her experience as an alumnus, and then we'll open it for questions and answers. So you can submit your questions through the chat. So let me introduce the postgraduate programs in health professions education offered by the IMU Center for Education, or ICE. So the main aim of the program is to produce scholars of educational theories and frameworks who are skilled at teaching and assessment, who continuously enhance program standards wherever they are, and engage in scholarly activities to meet the current and future demands of healthcare training. So we have at 3 levels, the postgraduate programs in HPE or health professions education, the postgraduate certificate, the postgraduate diploma, and the master's. And these are the different modules. What you see in pink are the different modules in each of these programs. So in certificate, we have health professions education in 21st century, educational theories, e-learning, work-based learning, and assessment and feedback. So we have 5 modules in PG certificate. In PG diploma, we have introduction to HPA research, curriculum planning, and management and leadership. And in master, we're mainly concerned with HPA research and scholarly activities. So it's a 3-tier health professions education pathway to accommodate learners' interests and career goals as health professional education is. So 5 modules for the certificate, 20 credit hours. Once you complete, then you can continue to the PG diploma, postgraduate diploma programs. And that is 5 modules, so 3 modules at PG diploma. So if you're taking the PG diploma altogether, you'll do 8 modules, 32 credit hours. Each module is of 4 credit hours each. And at the master's, you'll do the 5 modules of the certificate, 3 modules of diploma, and 2 modules at the master level, leading to 42 credit hours. So this is where you do the dissertation and complete your project. So these are the modules which I told you. I just introduced this to you. So the different modules in the certificate. Then we got, the module 1 to 5 is what you'll do in diploma. So if you're doing a diploma, you'll do the first 5 modules of the certificate, and you'll do an additional 3 modules laying the foundations of research, curriculum planning and evaluation, and management and leadership in HPE. And for masters, you will do the modules of certificate, you'll do 3 modules at diploma, and you'll do 2 modules at the master, the dissertation 1 and dissertation 2. And like I told you sometime before, total of 42 credit hours. So you can do it as a full-time student or you can do it as a part-time student. So if you're a full-time student, the duration is 2 years. If you're part-time, then it's 3 to 6 years. So MQF, the Malaysian Qualifications Framework, level 7 is where our postgraduate program is placed. We have 2 intakes. So we offer it in conventional mode, and we also offer it as an open and distance learning or ODL program. So the conventional starts in March, the intake is in March, while the ODL, the intake is in September. And our mode of delivery could be, we could have synchronous online, asynchronous online, and even some face-to-face sessions. So this is giving an overview of what I just discussed. So multi-level exit, flexibility, technology-enhanced learning. There's opportunities for continuous professional development, interprofessional educators, research opportunities. I believe Dr. Bhavani will talk about each of this in some more detail. Publication is supported, and there is a subsidized registration for IMEC, or the International Medical Education Conference. So this is a course structure, and we also have a credit transfer and a dual master's degree with Flinders University. And again, I think Dr. Bhavani will talk about this in some more detail. So these are the different modules which we have in different levels of the program. I already talked about this. So the ODL intake will start in September of this year, and the conventional will start in March 2024. So Dr. Nurul is the program coordinator, and these are the contact details. You can apply or you can scan the QR code. Let me now invite Dr. Bhavani to talk about empowering health professions educators, building tomorrow's workforce. Dr. Bhavani, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Welcome to the Postgraduate Info Week, IMU's Postgraduate Info Week. I'm Bhavani, and let me enlighten you a little bit more in depth regarding the Health Profession Educators program that we have at IMU. So basically, if you look at this particular program, it is very unique in a sense that it is a teacher's training program in the context of health profession education. So it's really about looking at the importance of really training our health professional graduates. And the momentum of looking at the importance of this program is really picking up at a pace right now, especially if you really look at it after the COVID pandemic that has hit the world. There's a lot of change in the landscape of education. And I think health profession education is probably definitely the way forward if you really look at it. So in that context, so we have a couple of attendees here, right? Would it be possible for me to get, would you be able to just type it in the chat box, just give me your background, or at least from which field you are from, so that, I can relate and deliver this a little bit better? Do you think you can do that? We have Gan Yi Qian, and JPM, Soraya. I'm just reading out right through the attendees list here. Do you think you're able to give me some info on the chat box? Just type in the chat box there. The discipline or the background or your profession, so that we can have this a little bit more in depth. Can we have that? Anybody would like to just chip in? There's about 5 of you. Okay, I'll just go along, yeah. So if you think feel free to drop it in the chat box. So really looking at this profession, the importance of it in the sense that it really takes you to a greater heights. That's why the team, I know the word that we have tonight that we are discussing is really on empowering health profession educators. because what it really does is that it gives you a very critical role to play in molding the kind of graduates, the health professional graduates that we want to for the future workforce. And what more, we can't deny that the demanding healthcare right now, the healthcare settings that we have in the hospitals is ever changing. And this really, takes on a great toll on our graduates. And I'm sure you would definitely agree with me if I tell you that, to mold competent graduates, you need competent health profession educators, right? So like in that sense, we as educators definitely going to need to equip ourselves in and really, what do you call the weapons that's probably going to give you that empowerment, not really to look at it. Just to reflect a little bit, I myself, a physiotherapist as a background, really back in the 90s when I started off working in a government hospital, I really have seen and gone through the whole clinical realm, working and teaching the other, junior physiotherapy students in the hospitals, and I've really seen how uh, educators play a very critical role in molding the kind of graduates, even myself, inspired to be who I am right now, really because of that. Um, you know, um, to have engaged with really great teachers who have really inspired me to, to go on further. So, I did my postgrad in masters in physio, which really took me to a next level of deciding that I am going to be a teacher. And then, further on, I developed my physiotherapy programs, the curriculum. Once I stepped into the academic world, and that was where I really learned a lot about, designing the modules, curriculum, teaching and learning, assessment, and so forth. And really found myself to seek more knowledge. And I really felt that this is just not enough. I need to go further to give me that empowerment, So that was when I decided to do the master's in health profession education. It's also called medical education. So then I did that, and that further pursued to a PhD in health profession education. And I have to tell you, there's no turning back and there's no single regret, because definitely it has boosted the career and who I am right now, really because of embarking and stepping into this health profession education and gaining all this knowledge over the years that I have. And it really gives me that the liberty to make that decisions, you see. And really, it also further, what it did is that it gives me that scholarly ability to work and do research, like how just now Prof. Ravi mentioned, to talk about research. Going through these postgraduate programs really gives you that knowledge on research. Now, the beauty about research in health profession education is that it actually, what it does is it gives you that, if you're able to answer the questions that you have while you're teaching, okay, let's put it that way, challenges that you face while you're teaching, you can take that as a question and you can actually implement that as a research project and take it forward to publish it, to share your findings in conference, national, international conference, and networking with a bigger body of great figures. So can I have the subsequent slide, Dr. Ravi, from here? Yeah. So it's really really talking about the empowerment that this particular program does to us is that developing curriculum. We talk so much about student-centered learning. We talk so much about 21st century learning and so forth. And this is the way. This is probably going to be the antidote, if I were to put it correctly, to give you that empowerment, that liberty, and equipping all the teaching tools that you're probably going to need. So in that sense. So yeah, so basically in IMU, right? I think we definitely have been taking health profession education very seriously from the beginning itself. When we started, delivering this in 2017, and this is our 6th year, if I'm not wrong, that we are going through this program, and we have various number of alumni who have been with us, who have really benefited, and it comes back and tell us how it has really empowered them to climb up their career ladder, as well as um, conducting research and networking at conferences, and really it gives you the boost and the satisfaction that you need at this job. So in that context, yes, I think at IMU has really has taken this to a different, a next level. So the subsequent slide, probably I would take you through what I would say. Let's say, can I have the subsequent slide, please? Yeah. So when I say we have taken it to a next level, really, we have the Ron Harden Visiting Professor program, where we really bring in the key gurus in health profession education to come in on board to IMU, and to give our students that international experience, and getting that knowledge from the key gurus themselves. Like you can see some of these pictures I have here. Happens on an annual basis, and we also have embedded these visiting professors in our modules. So they will really be coming in and teaching some of the key topics within the modules to give you that, the significance and the evidence and what has been reported. And these people will definitely be able to open a greater insight into opening all those different channels within the health profession education. So I think in that sense, IMU, we have been really serious about our HPE, and we really bring in these visiting professors in as well. Now, there's another key feature I think I have to say, within geographically within the Asian territory, right? I think IMU has also embarked on really our annual IMEC conference. And I think Dr. Ravi could help us to just switch to the subsequent slide to show us our annual. So we really have a great or strong track record over the years conducting the International Medical Education Conference. And of course, we have it this year as well, as you can see the theme for this year. So, this is where we can bring in, or we bring in all the international figures to come in and to deliver their key speakers, giving pre-conference workshops. So our health profession education learners or students who come in on board with us, they really get that experience of networking. They are also able to share their research activities, like especially our master student, right? So they are able to also share their the research project that they've done in an oral or a poster, and also, publication as per se. So I think, I think in that sense, we have been quite happy with from where we started with this program, and how our HP has really matured over these years, really, in that sense. So let me see. No chat box. Did I get anything coming from our attendees? Okay.
No questions as such. They only introduced themselves.
Yeah, okay.
I think because they couldn't, I think, use the chat, so they used the Q&A. That's fine.
Okay, all right. Right, okay. Well, that's really pretty much how, I would like to share. But also, I think the other good news that I would like to share is the fact that we have collaborated with the Flinders University in Australia to give us the credit transfer. So our HP students who have completed the diploma will be able to continue or pursue their masters at Flinders if they would like to go into that pathway, and have that experience from the Flinders health profession education as well. So that's another interesting aspect that we have given a additional option on alternative for candidates. So yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, in trying to enlighten a little bit more. Back to you, Dr. Ravi. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhavani. So let me move forward and let me invite our alumnus, Prof. Effat, to share her experience. So let me stop sharing and hand over to Prof. Effat. Effat, I will hand over to you. And I'm stopping sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Ravi. Let me share my PowerPoint. I can. Let's see here. Okay. Can you see my PowerPoint now?
We can, yes.
Okay, very so. Okay.
Is it in full screen? Can you just confirm? Okay, I think.
Yeah.
Should be, no? Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah, now it's in full screen. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Ravi. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Effat. I was a postgraduate certificate CHPE student in 2021 and 2022 session. In the 2021-2022 session, as you can remember, we were at the during the COVID time, during that time. So the course that I joined was fully online. So I would like to share with you a little bit of my experience joining this course, which I had thoroughly enjoyed to my surprise. We had classes only during the weekend and not every weekend, selected weekends. And some weekends we don't have class, but we have assignments. I wish I had taken a lot more pictures during that time, but as you can remember, COVID was a really dark time for us. So I did take some pictures, but I only end up with this one picture here of the class. And there's 2 students so far, but somehow my picture is not there. But these are us listening to the is an interactive kind of lecture. It's not like, you know, the one that you have when you are in undergraduate. Is more interactive because we are all mature learners. I'm sure all of you here in participating in this webinar, you are already in your career and you're looking to increase your value, I suppose, as a worker or as a professional in your workplace. So that's why you're looking at this course. This was what I did when I look at this course. So this course for me is what went very well for me is that the course was very short. It was only about 1 year, not even 1 year, about 9 months, something like that. Then you complete the entire course. And what I found is surprisingly for me as well, that I really enjoyed the session, although it's online. The advantage is, of course, you wake up and you can just turn on the computer and there you are in the class, and you don't have to travel anywhere. Although traveling is not that far to IMU for the classes, but still you don't have to travel anywhere. So that's a big plus that I found. I also found that the course helps me to understand the education side of what I do. I'm a lecturer in pathology in one of the public universities in Malaysia. And for the longest time, I was in academic administration, and I actually did not know what I was doing, or I thought I know what I was doing. But when I joined the course, it really make me understand what actually that I should have done, and thankfully, I was in position to improve what I was doing during that time in real time as I was taking the course. So this is just to show you a little bit on the curriculum structure. There's 5 modules. All the module is related to what you're doing now as a teacher in the medical or health professional setting. assessment is really, really good. I mean, it really opened my eyes in terms of what it is, what is it for, how do you make it better, why we do assessment, how students learn, and then you assess what they learn. The way that the course is done is also very, I think, tailored to adult learning, because you don't have examinations, but you have assignments. And when you do assignments, there's a lot of thinking. And when you do a lot of thinking, like you do, you will find that whatever you learn sticks in your brain. So although you perhaps cannot tell it out loud to people, but it's there. And when you do your work, you say, oh, thank God I know about this one, so I can do this better now, rather than what I did before. So that is my little bit of my reflection of this course. Of course, there were challenges. Going online is also a challenge. You don't have that, face-to-face interaction with your colleagues and with your teachers, but still, you still have interactions. The limited interaction that you have, like now with Pro Rabi, for example, Dr. Bhavani, is a better interaction than you would get if, let's say, you do a Udemy course, a Udemy course. I'm sure you've done that before, the micro-learning course that you do online, where you just join one course and they just run the course without really engaging you. So that was my experience with this course. I think I better be quiet now. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. So I think let's open it up for questions and answers. So I think we have presented an outline of the program. I would like to thank both Dr. Bhavani and Dr. Fat for sharing. So I kindly type questions in the chat, in the Q&A. The chat thing is, you cannot use. So if you have any questions, kindly type them in the Q&A and we'll get back to you. I think I see one question. So let me read it out, and then, maybe we got Dr. Nurul, Dr. Bhavani. So the person is telling that I'm a fresh graduate with a BSc in chemistry. I'm looking for options that will allow me to work overseas, can be Singapore or Australia. May I know more about the Flinders University? So any one of you can take it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that question. Yeah, we are currently at a very early stage of, collaborating with the Flinders. So basically, if you are asking about the uni, best is for you to look through the website. But I think it's a pathway, right? It's a pathway where, you finish your certificate and the diploma with IMU, and then you step into the masters and with the Flinders to do the project that will give you the title of Masters in Clinical Education. So coming from your background, it's probably one way to step in and, to get a ticket to get away for an employment in Australia, probably a nice way to start off with. A nice way to I think that's one of the aim, because we want to give our students that option, right? Not just to look at your employment within Malaysia, but also to open up that channel at international level. So definitely the chance probably is high likely, if you're looking at employability pathway in that sense. I hope I answered that question. But, Prof. Effat, Dr. Nurul and Sue, would you like to have?
I think, yeah, Dr. I think, yes, Siti would like to answer. I think, Siti, please go ahead.
I think I let Dr. Nurul to answer.
Yeah, fine enough, yeah. Because people, people do want to know about, how does it work? Is it dual degree? What is the basic requirements for this course? And someone is asking what is ODL. So that is open and distance learning. Maybe I can answer that. So that's where it's all offered online, you know. So what happens is you can learn within limits, you can learn at your own pace. So we just specify you have to complete within a certain duration, maybe 8 weeks, but how you do it is up to you. Okay, so over to Dr. Nurul. You can answer about the Flinders. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ravi. So I see a couple of questions regarding the Flinders collaboration. So as highlighted by Prof. Bawani just now, we are at the final stages of finalizing the collaboration. The idea is to complete a postgraduate diploma at IMU and continue with 4 modules, at Flinders University, which entitled to Masters in Clinical Education. So I saw the question about the requirement. So the requirement is to complete postgraduate diploma, which means students need to take the 8 modules as highlighted by Prof. Ravi in the beginning of the webinar just now. And the entry requirement to the postgraduate diploma is the same as the entry requirement for certificate and masters. So upon the completion, once again, the 4 modules will be done at Flinders, Australia. Yeah.
That's okay. So someone is asking about ODL option. So ODL, I think it's mainly for our postgraduate certificate. So maybe I'll briefly answer and then others can chip in. And this is for the 5 modules, you know. So you needn't come to campus. So it's something you can do entirely online. So it's for the postgraduate certificate in HPE. So if Dr. Bhavani and Dr. Nurul want to add anything, you can go ahead.
Yeah, certainly. To continue from what Prof. Ravi has explained, ODL is fully online. That means there is no need for students to be in campus, but students are still closely guided by the facilitators in terms and activities, and one of them is from Fiji. So there is no way you can fly over, during the weekend to attend classes. So everything is done online, which suits the working, adults. And we do have the, not to say timetable, but workload to guide students in terms of what topic to be followed and in terms of the submission of assignments. But as I say, it's not fully online and leaving students totally on their own. We do have sessions where there will be communication with mentor, for example. There will be support from the facilitators as well as the assessors, because one of the important things that we implement or we practice in our program is giving feedback to students for their learning. So after every assignment, students will receive feedback before they move on to another assignment. Yeah, that's all.
And that's a question on can international students join? In fact, I believe it will be very much convenient, like you just told, for international students, because there's no need to come to Malaysia because, it's supported and guided online.
Yeah. So, the international students, the one in Fiji, of course, international student, but at this point of time, the most ideal is the Fiji certificate ODL. Yeah.
And Dr. Bhavani, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just adding on to what the Dr. Nurul was saying. The plus point, I think, ours is the fact that you can start with the certificate ODL from anywhere without stepping into the country. And, then you can progress further to your diploma, then, with an option with Flinders and so forth. I think we have one question there, Dr. Ravi, on top there on the all the attendees here are holding a master's degree. So
And that's one. And there's another one about the Flinders collaboration. So someone wants to know who is the awarding body, IMU or Flinders? So maybe you can take both of them together.
Right. So the postgraduate diploma will be awarded by IMU, but the Masters in Clinical Education will be awarded by the Flinders University. Yeah.
There's something about basic requirements for joining the PGHP program. So whether you would like to answer that?
The entry requirement is any field of study relevant to health professions education with the CGPA more than I think 2.8, but any other fields that may not be directly related to health professions will be subjected to assessment at the entry level. Yeah, so that's the basic requirement. It's quite generic. Yeah.
It's actually quite open, that sense, because even if you're, working in a hospital, but you have some of your job description is related to looking into the training of your staffs, the fact that you are part of the healthcare provider, you could also take up this course if you want to, because it's relevant as well, because as long as there's an engagement in training. So really, if you have a master's degree, theoretically, you can come in. But we do expect some basic pedagogy if you do have, because the assignments and so forth is definitely going to require you to do so. So like what Dr. Nurul mentioned, there will be a committee to look into, assessing into the individual application to see whether the person has fulfilled the basic requirement or not in that sense. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Do we have any more questions? If you got any more, please type in the Q&A box. Any more? We'll just wait for some time to see if anyone has any more questions.
Prof, while waiting,
Yeah.
When I was doing the course, there was one medical officer who's working full-time in Hospital Selayang, Hospital Sungai Buloh, I think. And the other participant or students are also working full-time. So it's completely doable, the course, because the classes are online. And even when, for example, the one person who's on call, for example, the medical officer was on call, she was really supported in her learning. That I think some of the teachers send her messages and support her learning even if she did not attend the class during the stipulated time. So it's doable when you're working. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Fan.
Yeah. So if I may add, we have had various health professionals joining our program, aside from Prof. F, but we do have orthopedic surgeon, ophthalmologist, and family medicine specialist, and dentist. Yeah, a lot of them, came into our program to enhance the way they train dental students. We have had pharmacists and also other ranges of health professionals who are really committed to give back to the students in terms of understanding what they are doing and why they are doing it. Yeah. Just
there's another one, which I think, so someone is asking, do I need to be from the healthcare industry to take up this course?
It depends. So we need to know what kind of background that the applicant comes from. As I say, there will be an assessment. If, for example, the field is not directly related to the health professions, Yeah, but anything is possible because we do have at one point a language teacher, and she has graduated with Masters in Health Professions Education. Yeah.
Another one is, I think, a very more pressing one. So when is the deadline for September intake? That's the ODL one, I think. Yeah. Fine.
Right. The registration is still open. We are starting the ODL on 4th of September. So until then, students can register. Yeah.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, what's the difference between full-time and part-time? Is it possible to change it midway if work is getting too much?
I would strongly advise for those who are working to take on part-time. Yeah, because it gives a breathing space in terms of the workload, for example. The difference between full-time and part-time is that because our program run on a modular basis, meaning we do module by module, we are not on so-called strictly semesterly basis. So module 1 first, module 2, module 3, so on and so forth. Then probably 4 weeks are possible. But I think more all our students, the previous one and the current one, they go for part-time mode, which is 8 weeks in terms of the duration. So as Prof. Effat mentioned earlier, we do classes during the weekend, but not every weekend, only selected weekend. For example, throughout that 8 weeks duration, our classes will be only in terms of 3 weekends. So maybe you ask, so what do I do, in between that 3 weekends until the end of the module? There's a lot of things that we ask students to do, assignments and readings, for example, because whatever that is learned and gained during the session will be brought back to the context, the working context, and then it will be translated into the assignments that we asked students to do. So it's very theoretical and conceptual, a contextual application, I would say. So that will enhance the understanding of why we do what we do and which theories, for example, underlie the principles of what we do in classes, training the students. Yeah.
Next one, I think I will start answering and then I will pass it over. So classes for the part-time, I think we already answered, usually are scheduled over the weekend, maybe Friday and Saturday. And I think most of them are done, at least now it's either, most of it is synchronous online. So maybe it might change. I don't think you need to go to campus often. Maybe Dr. Nurul and Dr. Bhavani can take up this question.
Yeah, I think most of the part-time sessions are scheduled on a Friday and a Saturday, so that we give the Sunday free for both the teachers as well as the students, right? So I'm sure you would like to have your Sundays as well in that sense. So that's how the part-time is arranged for the ODL as well as the. So also it gives you more space. See, the thing about HPE is about a lot of it is the readings that Nurul highlighted just now, the reading list, right, that we will give you. And, how you integrate it into your context and how you, and a lot of discussions are involved in our synchronous sessions that when we schedule our synchronous sessions. So a lot of the sessions, the classes are really trying you to apply it in your educational context so that, you benefit from it. So you're definitely going to see an immediate, the benefit actually is for the students to be able to apply it, and you bring your own lesson plan. If you're doing a lesson plan, you can bring whatever topic that you're currently teaching in your class, and then you can bring it forward and you can discuss it. So those challenges can be discussed, and you can see how you can improve those things in the future and so forth. So yeah, it's really mainly on a Friday, Saturdays. And so far it has been working really well with our program. Yeah.
The next question is about research. So someone is asking, should the research be fully in healthcare industry? Can it be hybrid or STH? STH, I don't know. Like healthcare and data digitalization, healthcare education and data digitalization.
Of course, you can. It doesn't have to be, to answer the first question just now, it doesn't have to be healthcare industry at all. But it flavors the education, right? Like just now Dr. Rul mentioned, we had a teacher. So we had a teacher who was in and he actually graduated because he or she found the relevance of this within the context. Though, we call it health professional education. A teacher would be able to equally take in, and definitely the project is, not directly to healthcare. So with the current AI and all that is really happening right now, a lot of it you can cater to those sort of research as well in education, and that is a lot of it is what we are also trying to pitch in our teaching. Yeah, I hope I helped to answer that question, but not sure what STH is. You can tell us that short form.
It's
Hybrid.
something.
It's something, yeah. I think it stands for something.
I had to look it up.
All right, probably that's what. It can be hybrid, it can be partially healthcare, it can be healthcare, looking at some policies but relevant to education. It could be that. It could be, like I said, the digitalization aspect of it. It could be many of those things. So yeah.
Okay, what's happening is someone is asking is, I'm thinking of HP, but due to my background in IT, but I'm thinking about doing a career change to healthcare education. Can you share some differences between these courses? I'm not sure MHIA, what exactly is that? Or maybe maybe it's MHP, not sure. Okay.
No, MHIA is Master in Health Informatics.
Informatics, okay.
Informatics,
Healthcare informatics, okay.
Yeah, definitely. A career change, well, like we say, nothing is too late, right? Prof. Irfan, looking at myself, looking at all of us here, I think I started rather late, but I still reached there. So a change is what we need, right? To keep going and to keep growing. So in that sense, I think it's a good idea to change if you want to. But in fact, instead of looking at it and differences, I would say we are very much trying to bring IT in HPE. So if you have an IT background and you want to do HP, I think it will be a great asset for you, in that sense. So because right now with all the AI, going on in education, I think you will be able to be a great change agent in whatever you're going to do in the future. So yeah, that's definitely a positive, optimistic way of looking at it.
Okay. Any more questions?
We really had some good questions, Dr. Ravi.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's it, I believe. Unless we see any more, I think people have asked a lot of questions. So maybe we'll hand it over back to marketing. So in case they have more questions, they can contact the marketing team. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, fine. No more questions, I believe.
Yeah.
Anything from marketing? Yeah, fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to our session today. If you have any further questions, I will going to put in the email address here. You can write in your questions to us and we will get back to you. All right.
Okay,
all right.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for attending, everyone.
Thank you.